Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. Waterford Council will lobby the Housing Minister to fund a potential deficit of €3.3 million in their finances. The Mental Health Commission says it will use the full rigours of the law if regulations are not complied with at University Hospital Waterford. WIT has been named runner-up in the Sunday Times Institute of Technology of the Year, and in sport, Jim Gavin's expected to stay on as manager of the Dublin Senior Footballers. Waterford Council will lobby the Housing Minister, Owen Murphy, to fund a potential deficit of €3.3 million in the local authority's finances. CEO Michael Walsh has warned that the potential loss of income in Irish water rates will have a profound impact on the budget. The shortfall has arisen following recent changes to the Water Services Act. Fianna Fáil Councillor Adam Wise explains how the deficit came about.
It's been created on the decision that the rates on Irish water assets have been revalued. Previously, they would have been valued at approximately $4.5 million. Now they're being valued at 1.2 million. So it leaves us in a very, very tricky situation. The last number of years, we have been compensated by the government departments for that money. We're being told that that won't be happening now. This has been going on since 2017. There's been internal lobbying regarding this issue about Waterford Council being subsidised this money. Only in the last week or two, the city manager of Waterford City and County Council has been told that they will not get the money from the Department of Public Finance.
He's hoping the Minister will look at Waterford Council's case.
We cannot face a budget with a €3.3 million gap. We can't go and cut the funding from festivals, we can't cut the funding from our roads budget, and we definitely can't be looking at increasing rates on businesses, especially with the local economy as fragile as it is at the moment. So I would be asking that the Minister, Owen Murphy, really looks at this issue. I understand he has to, if he's going to give us something, he has to give other councils something, but we are the harshest affected by this change in rates. We are €3.3 million in the hole in comparison to any other council is nowhere near that. In my 6 years on the council, I have never gone to a budget with a gap that big.
Sinn Féin Councillor Conor McGuinness wants an emergency meeting called to discuss the potential deficit. Council CEO Michael Walsh says there is no clear indication from the government as to what support there will be, but it's clear the money necessary to offset the loss to the affected councils is not available. Conor McGuinness says that's not acceptable.
I think it's that important that we convene together and we work out a common united front, cross-party, involving councillors, small parties and none, and working closely with management, that we lobby and we make this the biggest political issue, that we have a delegation meet with ministers and that we each lobby within our respective political parties. But I'd put the challenge up to Fine Gael, though, that this is a problem that their government made in 2013, that government policy currently is making. They need to take action now as well.
Images of people sleeping on the floor of the psychiatric unit in University Hospital Waterford have been called disgraceful. Pictures have emerged of patients sleeping behind screens on the floor or on chairs. The Psychiatric Nurses Association claims there were 54 patients in the 44-bed unit earlier in the week. Labour's health spokesperson Alan Kelly says there needs to be immediate action from the HSE.
In 2019, the fact that we have people sleeping on the floor with blankets thrown over them, with screens around them, on chairs, and being left in this situation is nothing short of disgraceful.
The Mental Health Commission, meanwhile, says it will use the full rigours of the law if regulations are not complied with at University Hospital Waterford. The Chief Executive, John Farrelly, told the Irish Examiner that if the unit can't comply with the regulations, they put their registration at risk. He says the Commission has previously met the HSE at the highest level to highlight its unhappiness at how mental health services in Waterford are operating. Meanwhile, University Hospital Waterford is the third worst hit in the country today for patients on trolleys. The Irish Nurses and Midwives Organisation says 454 admitted patients are waiting for beds at hospitals nationwide. University Hospital Galway is the worst affected with 52 people on trolleys. That's followed by 49 at University Hospital Limerick and 33 at University Hospital Waterford. Essex police investigating the deaths of 39 people say they've spoken on the phone to a suspect who's on the run. The Hughes brothers from Armagh are being urged to make contact with police. Sean O'Regan reports.
Ronan and Christopher, hand yourselves in to the police service of Northern Ireland. We need you both to come forward and assist this investigation.
A direct appeal there from the Detective Chief Inspector of Essex Police, Daniel Stoughton, to Ronan and Christopher Hughes. The Armagh natives are wanted on suspicion of manslaughter and human trafficking. Officers believe the pair are in the north, but say they have links to the Republic. Detective Stoughton says they've spoken to one of the brothers on the phone.
Although we have already spoken to Ronan Hughes recently by telephone, we need to have a conversation with him and his brother in person.
The bodies of 8 women and 31 men were found in the refrigerated trailer of a lorry in an industrial estate in Grays last week. Detective Stoughton said that the PSNI stopped a lorry yesterday.
Yesterday, the police service of Northern Ireland stopped a lorry believed to be connected to the Hughes brothers. The vehicle was subsequently seized and no further arrests were made.
He added that Essex Police will continue to work with the PSNI and the Gardaí until the Hughes brothers come forward or are arrested.
A government minister says the views of Fine Gael members on Maria Bailey's future need to be listened to. The Dunleary TD lost a vote at last night's meeting, meaning a review will take place of who the party runs at the next election. Deputy Bailey, who was at the centre of the Swingate controversy, refused to comment after the result. Social Protection Minister Regina Doherty has refused to express confidence in her.
I think they made their concerns known last night. I think the results of that motion and that ballot now have to be sent to the National Executive, who will consider and recognise the concerns that they clearly have. I think this issue hasn't been without its controversy over the last number of months, but at the end of the day we're a democratic party. The members' views have to be listened to.
Green Party councillor Pippa Hackett has been elected to the Seanad. She was the only nominee to fill the vacancy left by Waterford woman Grace O'Sullivan's election to the European Parliament. Nominations closed at noon and the County Offaly councillor has been deemed elected without a contest. Waterford Institute of Technology has been named runner-up in the Sunday Times Institute of Technology of the Year. Athlone IT came out on top for the second time in the past year, just ahead of WIT. UCD has been named the Sunday Times University of the Year. Meanwhile, 875 people from Waterford City and County are being conferred with academic awards at WIT today. They're among more than 2,500 students who graduated this week. Maurice Brown from Grace Dew completed the diploma in supervisory practices. He's considering going back again next year.
It was blended learning. It's full-time, but I mean it suits the person who has employment and family commitments, etc. So it was an excellent design of course to suit those who have a job and a family. I have a winter off this year. I've been there 2 years and I've already been inquiring about a follow-on course, maybe to masters or that kind of thing. So it's a very positive experience. I'd recommend it to anybody that missed out in their youth to return. It's very positive and a supportive environment.
Meanwhile, 8 people graduated with a Doctor of Business Administration from Waterford IT this year. Professor Dennis Harrington is the head of Graduate Business Department. He says they're seeing more interest in PhD courses.
Some of our graduates have expressed a keen interest in continuing on to do doctoral study with ourselves in the business school and in other schools. And certainly with the DBA, I think it suits their work mode. And certainly they're kind of, in terms of it being very customised, I think it gives them an opportunity to do it at a time and at a place that suits their learning needs. And I think that's very important for us in the business school. We've made a big attempt over the last 3 to 5 years to, if you like, open up our programmes.
WLR Sport.
And a very good afternoon, I'm Gavin Whelan. Starting with Gaelic Games, and Jim Gavin is expected to stay on as manager of the Dublin senior football team for 2020. Dublin chairman Sean Shanley says the 5-in-a-row winning boss has already been planning for the league and will definitely be staying on. 3 of Dublin's All-Ireland winning side are in contention to be named Footballer of the Years at the All-Stars tonight, with Conor O'Callaghan, Jack McCaffrey and captain Stephen Cluxton all shortlisted. Staying with Gaelic Games, and Ballygunner and Six Mile Bridge will lock horns in the Munster Club hurling quarter-final on Sunday afternoon. Sides go head-to-head in Six Mile Bridge. The Waterford champions, fresh from winning a 6th county title in a row, will travel to Clare in confident mood, having won the Munster title last year with victory over Napearshig. Gunners joint captain even Philip Mahoney says there's immense character throughout the squad, and that's been evident again all season.
There's great character in the team. We've been through a lot of battles the last 6 years, even previous to that. You know, I remember, like as it was yesterday in 2013, we were standing here, we were 7 points up, and Passage got 2 goals down there, and that has probably driven this team on and that kind of thing. But look, you see days like today when you see everyone from the club around, like we're only representing, you know, everyone that's here today. There's huge work done in Ballygunner at the moment, and you know, it's for everyone. We're just delighted to represent them on the field.
Gunners manager Darragh O'Sullivan will join Tomas McCarthy on this evening's Lorna Porca just after the 6 o'clock news. Throw in at O'Grady Park in 6 Mile Bridge is at 1:30 on Sunday. We'll bring you all the action live here in WLR. Thanks to George Corbett, Skoda Tomas, and Shayna Hearn will be on commentary duty for that one. Staying with Gaelic Games, first time intermediate hurling champions Ballysaggart are gearing up for their Munster Club Championship campaign, which begins this Sunday in Fairfield. The Sky Blue and Navy entertain Kerry senior champions Causeway with a place in the provincial semi-final up for grabs. Ballysaggart boss Adrian Maher says it's a game they won't be taking for granted.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I think they have about 6-7 lads played in the county, so yeah, like you said, they are the senior champions, like there's an intermediate we are, but look, we're a senior team too now, so look, if we respect them because of their carry, we know they will be good and they will have quality in their side, but we've plenty of quality too, and look, if our guys, we're hoping, look, they can get back up for it, and I think if we turn up with the right fair amount, we'll be thereabouts.
Throw-in for that one is at 1:30 in Fairfield. You can hear more from Adrian on this evening's Lorna Porca here on WLR. The junior hurling and football finals take centre stage here in the county as well tomorrow. Ballydurn and St Mary's contest the Junior A hurling final in Welsh Park at 2 o'clock. While tomorrow evening it's a 7 p.m. throw-in up there in Fairfield for the football decider between Shamrocks and Ballyduff Lower. Further build-up to those throughout the afternoon here on WLR. Next to news of soccer, former Republic of Ireland international Rory Delap has been placed in caretaker charge of Stoke. It's after the Championship club sacked Nathan Jones this lunchtime after just 9 months in charge. Assistant manager Paul Hart and first team coach Joaquin Gomez have also departed. Drogheda United take a 1-0 lead to Finn Harps in the second leg of their SSE Airtricity League playoff final tonight. Finn Harps' Mark Timlin faces a late fitness test, while Drogheda United captain Jake Hyland is expected to miss the game through injury. Kick-off in Ballybuffet is at 7:45. To news of golf, Rory McIlroy produced a strong finish to move within a shot of leader Matthew Fitzpatrick after 2 rounds of golf's WGC HSBC Champions event. The world number 2 made an eagle on the last hole of his second round of 67 to sit at 10 under par into the weekend. Open winner there, Shane Lowry, is level par after carding a round of 72. And Warren Gatland's last game as Wales head coach has ended in defeat. His side have been beaten 40 points to 17 to New Zealand in the bronze medal at the World Cup in Tokyo. Gatland's 12-year reign saw Wales win 4 Six Nations titles and 3 Grand Slams. Tomorrow, of course, it is the big one as the Rugby World Cup final takes centre stage between England and South Africa, with kick-off at 8 p.m. 9 a.m. even, I should say, tomorrow morning. That's the latest on WLR. More at 2.